Never give up. If you want something, whether it's to be an actor or a singer or an artist or an accountant or a lawyer, something that you don't have a direct pathway to, the first thing is to say to yourself, I will never let go of this thing. And then go about the business of doing whatever you can do in order to get the information to do that thing. Read the books, read how other people got there, study, train, learn. You are constantly learning. I think that the worst thing that you can do is to get to the end of whatever it is and say, I could have, if only I had tried. If there is any passion that is within you that is deep down, just never let go of that thing. Write out what your vision is. I did years of vision boarding, years of writing out goals. Every new year you say what it is that you want and what it is that you achieved the year before. And then every year come back and look at that and say, oh wow, I checked this off. I did that. It didn't quite look like I thought it was going to look, but I did something similar. And just keep doing it. Keep that vision in your mind and active. Then you will achieve, and you will be happy that you tried.
Hmm.
Hold on. How's that? Can you hear me now? Let me know. I think you can. Doggone it. I see. You know what? I'm going to go with my MacBook Pro microphone because right now my fancy dancy microphone, for whatever reason, is not working. Let me know, Jeannie. Can you hear me? Yes, awesome. Everybody, hey, thank you, Rose Swan, Rod Swan. Thank you very much so you can hear me. I'm sorry, you guys, I didn't know you couldn't hear me. Can you hear me over here in Instagram? So then let me go back and tell you. Simone Missick, who you just saw, she's a wonderful actress and producer. I loved what she said. She talked about journaling. She talked about uh, um, oh, great. Thank you, Jeannie. She talked about storyboarding. I'm not storyboarding, that's what we do, vision boarding. I'm telling you, you guys, it works. It works. The first time I vision boarded, I wrote down about being a director. I put a picture of myself as a director. I found another picture of a movie camera. I put it up there, and the next year, I directed Blackish. It works. It works because it goes into your mindset. Whatever you want and you desire, you can have. Now, it may look different, and that's okay. But if it's still part of what your passion is, if it's still part of what your needs are, then honey, that's the best. And so often I hear from people that what ends up happening is you get more than what you even could imagine. The other thing that I said that I really liked that she mentioned that I hadn't even thought about was looking back at the year before, looking back and seeing what did you accomplish, just writing it down. What what did you accomplish in that year so you can see the things you have done? And let me tell you, let's talk about the good things we've done. Let's not look at, I didn't do this, I didn't do that. Hey, the only reason to look at those things you didn't do is to see about what you're going to do this year, what you can do differently. Because if we continue to keep in our minds about what we didn't do and who we aren't, then guess what? Where you put your attention is where your spirit will put its attention. It's where the universe will put its attention. Because that's what you're thinking about. What you want to do is think about what you want. I often say this. Well, I've said it before. I think it's been a long time since I've said it. But I started doing this thing many, many, many years ago. If I was feeling down about anything, I just couldn't quite get it together. I just changed my mind and I'm like, I'm going to be happy. I just would start smiling. I'm just going to start smiling. I'm going to be happy. And after a while, I don't know when it changed, but all that fog went away. The only thing that changed about my circumstances is me, my mind, my thought about what is ever going on in that moment. That's what changed. Let me see what else the girlfriend mentioned about. Never giving up. Never giving up. Never giving up. You might need to adjust what you're doing. Continue to learn. She spoke about that. Continue to grow. Seek out books about people you admire and read about what they went through, because I promise you, just like we do on the Vision is Possible, everybody did not have a smooth road to get to where they wanted to go. They heard the no's. They were knocked down. It was Gene Kelly who was told he was not attractive and he was too short. He couldn't do anything. If he had listened, would we have Gene Kelly? No, we wouldn't. We wouldn't have Dancing in the Rain, would we? No, we would not. So don't be your own naysayer. You be your supporter. You be the one who's going to take you over the finish line. No matter what your mama, your daddy, your brother and sister, your best friend, your husband, your wife, your relationship says to you. If it is in your heart, if you want to, need to, have to do it, baby, you go on and do it, because I promise you, they will be right there talking about, I knew it. I knew they'd be successful. They're going to be right there throwing the surprise party for how happy they are with you. I'll tell you a story. I wanted to go to New York. When I was 19, I had an opportunity to go to New York. I wasn't living at home anymore. And we're young kids, and I live in LA, and I was headed to New York with this small play, and we didn't have much money in the production, and we were going to be sleeping at someone's apartment, some of us on the floor in roll-up beds and blow-up beds, and I was so excited, and I told my parents about it, and I couldn't wait to go, and they were like, "You shouldn't be going, you shouldn't go," and I'm like, "No, I'm going." Well, they invited me over for dinner, and they did an intervention. And they stopped me from going to New York when I was 19 to have what I thought was going to be an incredible experience. Fast forward 20 years later, I'm going to CBS in LA just about every day. I'm a promo announcer. Things were lovely. I was guest starring on television shows. Things were lovely. And I sat down and I thought to myself, if I don't get to, I wasn't married. If I don't get to New York now, I'll get stuck here working and I'll never get there. I'll never have that experience of pounding the pavement, going on auditions, hailing a cab. I'll never have that experience. Baby, I bought a ticket. I put my apartment up for rent. And then I told my family, well, they were trying to talk me out of it, but honey, it was too late. I was gone. Fast forward 2 years later, I come back home for a visit, and I'm sitting across from my dad. And my dad says to me, "That was the best thing you could have done. You've grown so much." He was so proud of me. So I know what I'm talking about. And you're going to fall down. You're going to hear no's. You're going to get bruised. I'm about to play another video for you about that. But it doesn't matter. You know why? You got your mind on the prize. You got your eye on the prize. You got your spirit on the prize. And you make sure to align yourself with people who can support you as you thrive, as you move through all of the machinations of getting to where you want to go. Because I'm going to tell you, baby, sometimes it's your best friends who will tell you what you don't need to hear. In other words, they will put you down. Sometimes it's your family who will do the same. That's okay because they have their fears. Jennifer Lewis said today, we can be scared, but we ain't gonna have no fear. She wasn't talking about what we're talking about. She was, of course, talking about what's happening politically. I'm just gonna leave it right there. So let me share with you this gentleman. His name is Dorian Missick. He was a great guest. He came in just a month after his beautiful wife, Simone Missick. And what he has to share kind of takes us to the next level about what I'm talking about. Hold on, let me turn up my sound and make sure you can hear him.
It was like my late 20s. Tough time trying to like string together enough jobs to like keep things going. And I was struggling. I was living in New York at the time, and I got offered just a guest star role on a legal show in LA. I had to get myself out here. I had to put myself up. I was gonna make negative $700. It was gonna cost me $700 to do this job. My first instinct was like, nah, I ain't doing that. And then for some reason I said, yeah. So I did it, not knowing why. I was like, God, why am I doing this? And my car broke down that I had borrowed to use to drive to set. I mean, I was having the worst time ever. I get a phone call, and a casting director and my manager are on the phone together, and they're like, hey, yeah, they wanted to offer me a movie. And I was like, a movie? Like, that was not my life at the time. I was like, who's offering me a movie that I haven't read? It ended up being The Bounty Hunter. I was like number 3 with Gerard Butler and
Yeah.
Jennifer Aniston. This came out of nowhere. And it was a little voice in my head where God was like, yo, you just were obedient, man. I told you to go, and you
You
went.
went.
Yo, let me just see if you do this thing.
Mm-hmm.
It was what I call the Holy Spirit, but it was an instinct that
Mm-hmm.
said, go do it. That ended up being my biggest paying job to that date. If I get a voice that says, go to this thing, I'm going to go. If I
That's
get a
right.
voice that says, don't go to this thing, I will not go.
I ain't going.
I have gone to things and taken jobs that my gut said don't do,
Mm.
and it was not a good idea at all. You gotta listen to that voice inside.
You got to listen to that voice inside. Did you hear that? An example of that. You got to invest in you. Excuse me, that's what Dorian did. You have to invest in you. Before anyone else is going to invest in you, you got to do it first. And you have to stick with you the longest. Otherwise, why would anybody else stick with you? Think about that. You go to present a project, you present an idea, you go on a job interview. Why would anyone want you to work with them if you aren't sure about you? So you got to get that relationship with you. And if you have that, baby, all of what I'm talking about, just take it to a whole nother level. Keep doing it. Keep inspiring yourself. I love what Dorian talked about. He said he struggled, but he took that risk. He's going to pay $700 just to go do this job because that's what it was going to cost him. But he knew that's what he should do. Hey, good evening, Moon Crab. Good evening, all of you, again on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. I'm so glad to have you here. He talked about that. He said something can come out of nowhere. Okay, let me tell you something. Nothing comes out of nowhere. It comes out of you not knowing that it's coming. But you've heard this phrase. You know, you seed, you just put your seeds in the ground and you watch the fruit grow, you watch the tree grow, and through that come opportunities, right? I so agree when he's talking about of listening to that voice. I told this story years ago. Let me tell you, this is a silly story, but I'm gonna share it with you. I was leaving the house. This was many moons ago. And I was headed out for my day, and I knew that I would not be back for the rest of the day. And as I'm starting to walk out the door, Spirit says to me to grab eyeshadow, a black eyeshadow. Now, at that time, I did not wear eyeshadow. I had it because every actress worth her salt has makeup. And I'm arguing, why should I get this eyeshadow? But, kept bugging me. I went back in, I got the eyeshadow and the applicator, I put it in my purse, I head out for my day. In the middle of the day, far away from my house, I get a last minute audition. The only thing I have, along with always carrying lipstick, is that eyeshadow. I popped that eyeshadow on my eyes, which made them pop more. I booked that job. Now, would I have in my conscious mind ever gotten that eyeshadow? No. And I know you guys have had experiences where that voice tells you what to do. You can call it your inner guide, your inner voice. You can call it the angels, God, Buddha, Muhammad, the spirits, whatever you want to call that voice, where it makes clear to you. Whatever that is, you call it whatever you want. And all of it is there for your higher good. If that voice is speaking crazy to you, if that voice is not being nice to you, that's not your spiritual voice. That's troubled. That's a troubled voice. That's when I am so into not only therapy, but into journaling. Because that's when you can talk to that voice. What's going on? That's when you can wonder, why am I saying these things to myself? What am I thinking about? The same way a lot of us write down what relationship we want is the same way we can go ahead and write down what we want for ourselves. It's the same way we can go ahead and write down nice things to ourselves. You're a woman, you want someone to think you're pretty, you better think you're pretty, honey. You're a man, you want someone to think you're handsome, you better think you're handsome, honey. My daddy used to say, You better know you're good. You better know all the wonderful things about you. And that's not conceit. That is clarity about who you are. Make you walk a little taller. Makes your voice come out clearer. And look and see, what is it that you need to learn more of so you can be more of all you want to be. And baby, it is never too late. I've come back to acting, and I'm clearly over 40. I'm not going to tell you how much older than 40 I am, but I'm clearly over 40. I've come back to acting. I have this fabulous role, Dr. Monica McCormick, on Beyond the Gates, a black soap opera on CBS. Now, if I had completely given up, I wouldn't have done it. You guys already know how the Vision is Possible came about. If I hadn't called my brother 3.5, oh wow, years ago, and said, let's just do an Instagram live, because my social media company was like, Iona, you gotta do that. It was the last week of a 3-month contract. We did it, we loved it, and 3.5 years later, actually in that year, the Vision is Possible was formed, and here we are together now. I'm going to tell you something else I got from Dorian. Give yourself grace. Give yourself grace. You give it to other people. You listen to your friends' problems, you listen to all their stories, and you give them great advice. Do you do the same thing for yourself? No? Oh, come on. You must. Oh, yes? Fabulous. Because you got to give you grace. And let me tell you, honey, as we age and mature, we get better at that. We get better at all of what I'm talking about. This is not something that at 20 or in my 30s I even knew about. I read a lot of self-help books, but I didn't always know how to apply to my life. The Secret, if you guys don't know about The Secret, check out The Secret. Ooh, it is fabulous, because those are truly more profoundly spiritually educated people than I am, who have inspired me, who give you all kinds of examples and works to do so that you can be in that frame of mind of creating what you want. And that's what Dorian and Simone are talking about. Creating what you want, putting it out there. Dorian's talking about putting it out there, and boom, out of nowhere comes a phone call. I know that has happened for me. All of a sudden the phone rings. I think I've told you guys about how I was years ago. God, okay, I keep saying years ago, so let me give you a time frame. 25 years ago, I went to go see a one-woman show at a club, this really cute small club. Fabulous small club. Okay, hair go down. Thank you very much. And I spoke to the owners. They were really lovely guys. So I said to them, hey, I have a one-woman show. They said, great, bring it. I said, okay, I would love to. The next 2 weeks later, I get a call. Before I get the call, 2 weeks later, I'm on my kitchen floor, writhing, crying in Viola Davis tears. Just, I hadn't had an audition in a month. I was so worried what's happening to my career. I was a very lucky actress. I got a lot of auditions. Hadn't auditioned in a month or two. I think it was 2 months, and I'm just so upset. And the phone rings. I pick it up. Hello. He says, hi, this is so-and-so from the club, and we have an opening next month. We'd love for you to come and do your one-woman show. And I say, oh, I'm busy, but thank you so much. And we talk a little longer, and I hang up. Baby, Spirit said to me, Iona, you're down on the floor writhing. You're crying. You're upset because you don't have a way to be creative. You haven't had an audition. We send you a phone call, a lifeline. That's like that boat that comes across, and you say to God, you didn't send anything. And God said, I sent you a boat, I sent you a plane, I sent you a ship. I wiped my tears. I blew my nose. Took a sip of water. I called him back. I said, hey, I'm not available next month, but I am available in 2 months. He said, great, we booked it. I didn't have a show at all. I went through my diaries. I started writing that show. I memorized it. So in 2 months, I had that show. And it changed my life. I started on a journey of creating one-person shows. And then a few years later, I started on a journey of directing and creating one-person shows for other people. Jennifer Lewis, Blair Underwood, Penny Johnson-Gerald, Kim Wayans, and so many other people. Answer the call. And sometimes when you don't answer, it's okay to go back and say, oops, call back, answer again. Give yourself. That's not what I mean to say. What I mean to say is to invest in yourself. Believe in yourself. Take risks. Do new things. See what happens. I had another wonderful guest who came on. His name is Mandla Dubé. Mandla is from South Africa. He has a very interesting story. He came here from South Africa many years ago, and he didn't know but one person. He is now, and he didn't know about the entertainment business. He is now a major director. He's got projects with Netflix. He is a producer. He is a big voice in the world of film, and especially in South Africa.
Do you also find that in what might be a mistake or something that didn't work out, that you learn from that, right? You don't spend
Oh,
time wallowing within that.
oh yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. There's a thing of failing forward, right?
Mm.
That you fail forward. You have to focus on what are those failures? What do I learn from them? And how can I be able to use them as a learning lesson to inform my future? You can't dwell on the past. There's nothing you can do about it, but you can learn from it. Nelson Mandela once said, "It's all in our hands," right? And the more we focus on what it is that we want, there's no such thing as impossible. You try, keep trying, the answer will come. You know.
Did you hear that? Failing forward. My sister-in-law once said, and I love she says that, she said, it's not how you fall because you're going to fall, it's how you get up. The point is, get up. And the other point that Mandela had, he talked about failing forward. Learn from those failures, learn from those mistakes. That's the training ground. That's how you know what you want to do. If everything is rosy and groovy and cushy the whole way, then really what is challenging you to grow? Excuse me, to become better at what you do or what you want to do. Think about that. I think about every heartbreak I've had. I got better at choosing better men as I went along in my life. I think about auditions that I didn't feel I did very good on. I learned something from that. I look back to analyze about what could I have done differently. I think about when I work out and maybe I'm not stretching as far. How can let me shift my body so that I can oh yeah, okay, that's helping me stretch further. That's helping me be better. I think about every dish that I've cooked that may not have come out the way I wanted. I took notes and I made it again. It didn't scare me away. And then it's delicious. And that's what life is, you guys. Life is delicious. We are here to love. We are here to have fun. We are here to be in joy. We are here to learn. We are here to teach, to share. We're not here to suffer. We're not. And we're not here to allow our fellow man to suffer. Oh, don't even get me started about what's going on right now in our country. I'm so disgusted. The cruelty, the unkindness. But even with that happening, what we cannot do is to let them put us in a place of sadness. You can be sad for a moment, but get over it. Put us in a place of anger. You can be angry for a moment, but get over it. Put us in a place of feeling defeated, and don't ever feel defeated. Put us in a place of being in weakness. Let's be empowered by our thoughts. Let's be empowered by the people we hang with. Let's be empowered by our desires. Because I promise you, that energy together will create strength and things will start to change. It may not happen as fast as we want, but we've seen this before. Don't forget about the civil rights movement. Don't forget about the suffrage movement. Don't forget about the Boston Tea Party. Don't forget about things we have done to create something better than where we're at right now. And you can start with you. So remember that. What a great phrase that is. Failing forward. I love that man, love. So wonderful. And you know, the other thing he mentioned was Nelson Mandela. Nelson said, it's all in our hands, literally and figuratively. Everything we want, it's in our hands. I have a saying, a piece of a speech, rather, of what Nelson said. And a few people have said that. Boy, that hair just wants to stay out. And I'm not home now, but the one phrase of it that I remember so well is, we're more afraid of our light and success than anything else. What does that tell us about our consciousness? Now, does everyone feel that way? No, because there are plenty of successful people out there who do not feel that way. That's how you become successful. And success, there is quite a range of success. Making $1 million on a daily basis might be success financially, but it doesn't mean that you're happy, baby. Money does not buy you happiness. I don't care how much it is. Ask every therapist, who I just heard in New York are charging $1,000 an hour. And if you've ever been to a therapist, that's for a 45-minute hour. So it's not about the money. I mean, yes, money makes life good. I love money because it affords me to travel the way I like to travel and to do things. What I'm talking about is where your real joy and happiness comes from is inside. What you do, what you say, how you live, who you surround yourself with. And if you can make that friendship with the light of who you are to be the emitter of your beautiful, wonderful light, Rod, Mooncrab. Who else is here with me today? Clarice Crisp, hey there, baby. Andreen, all of you who are here. Jeannie, you take that light and expand it even more. No matter how successful you are, there's still more to do. As long as you're on the planet, baby, no matter how old you are, there's still more to do. You've heard about people in their 80s going to college. You've heard about people in their 80s getting married. It never ends. There's always more to do. My next guest who I had is the fine, fabulous, and terrific, talented Mr. Richard Lawson. Richard Lawson, 40 years ago, maybe, 35 years ago, Richard was in a plane crash where he maybe should have died or could have died, because a lot of people did. But Richard didn't, and that changed his life. He could have been caught up in that, why did I survive and not others? But he knew that if he survived, there was more for him to do and to honor those whose lives had been taken. Richard had to be successful, he had to thrive. And he's a brilliant actor, he's a wonderful director, and he's got something really fantastic to share.
Anybody who can survive as long as we have, they've done a good
Right?
job. They,
Hmm.
they've done a good job, because there's a whole lot of people that we know that were doing well along the way. And then something is like, whatever happened to, what, have you heard from, and because they took a midnight train to Georgia because it got to be too much. You have to take care of yourself mentally, physically, and spiritually
Come
in order to be
on.
able to
That's
sustain
right.
sustain this journey. This is a marathon. And when you are down, it's really when you have to have the infrastructure, starting with yourself, to be able to grab yourself by the boot blacks, get up, process, pivot, and proceed,
Move
so
on.
that you are not victim.
Ooh, ooh, what did he say? He said, process, pivot, and proceed. Those are powerful words. You have to take care of your mind. You have to take care of your body. You have to take care of your spirit, your spiritual life, whatever it is. You have to do that. Because, honey, this is life. The shit gonna get funky. Sorry, that's life. That's how it is. A rose will not grow beautifully if it does not get a little fertilizer. You see how the trees are? I used to love running in New York. Girlfriend and I would run. That's when I would run. Now I just power walk. And we'd run through all of the seasons, no matter how cold or how hot it was, even when it was raining. And to see the trees so green and beautiful in the springtime and summertime. And then in the fall, the leaves start to fall and it's reds and browns and golds. And then in the winter, there's nothing but the stick of it all. All of the leaves are down on the ground and gone. And there are some people who would call them ugly. I call them beautiful. I call them beautifully dormant in this moment, quiet, reviving within. So that comes springtime, you see the flowers, you see the leaves. That's us. We have seasons, y'all. It can't always be the trajectory of this. It can't always be the bum, 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 bum. Sometimes, a lot of times, you got to be still. You got to be quiet. You have to breathe and go inside that inner voice that we were talking about earlier. Yes, Clarice, seasons of life changes. You've got to allow that for yourself. Allow you to find the rhythm of who you are. Your rhythm, not somebody else's rhythm. Oh, Jeannie, what you got to say, Jeannie? What now? Iona, I've been a new library director a little over a year. Our patron numbers are doubling each month from last year. Gone, girl. Gone, girl. And she says, oh, Jeannie, thank you for that. Your program has helped me so much. Gone, girl. That's what I'm talking about. All right, Richard, what else did you say? Because you just something else. Life is a marathon, baby. This ain't no sprint. It's a marathon, honey. So what you do is know that sometimes, when you're in that marathon, you're running fast, and sometimes you got to just, woof, wait a minute, I got to pace myself here. And sometimes you need to sit your ass down. And the best thing you can do is sit your butt down when you're tired so you don't get sick, and then that will sit your butt down. Every time I've gotten sick, any sort of ailment that has happened to me, I know that it's because I should have sat my ass down a month ago, 2 months ago. But instead, my life has always been about going. And it hit me just maybe about 6 months ago, sometime in the middle of last year. Oh, okay, so that's a year ago. That all my life, I've been running to catch up, to do, to be, to make sure that I was creating, I was being productive. And once I realized that, and then I slowed down, I got more done because I wasn't going like this. Working, living, being smarter instead of That's what this is about. Richard spoke about it. What was it you said again, my friend? Process. To process means you've got to think about things. Journal. Go to the park, look up at the sky. Go to the beach. Let the water speak to you. Let those waves break against the shore speak to you. Process your own process. Come up with a decision. Pivot to do something new that you need to do, or something added to what you're doing. And proceed, baby, with confidence, knowing that, yeah, the road might be rocky, because again, it's a marathon, but check this out. Whether it's rocky or not, you, me, we are going to continue going down that road. I had another guest, the love of my life, Mnyongo Jackson, my husband. Mnyongo came and I interviewed him because Mnyongo is one of the most incredible percussionists in the world. Oh, Jeannie, I love what you just said. Thank you, my love. We can't be everything to everybody. Rest is important for our mind and soul. Yes, it is, my darling. Mnyongo was interesting to come after this point because he's so entertaining and he's gone through a lot in his life. He had brain surgery 30 years ago. He went to several doctors, 2 doctors, and 2 of them said, sir, yes, we can do the brain surgery. You may lose some motor skills. And he was like, wait, I'm a percussionist. I cannot lose any motor skills. And let me tell you, I know my husband loves me, but he loves those drums more, and it's okay. That's what happens when you're married to someone like that. He is a drum. If he cannot play every single day, he's no good. So Mnyongo finally found a surgeon. His name is Dr. Black. And Dr. Black said, sir, we can keep you awake through part of it, and you will not lose your motor skills. He went with his fabulous brother, Dr. Black, at Cedars-Sinai in Beverly Hills, California. And he saved my husband's life. he still plays to this day. It is his passion and his joy. And let me tell you another thing before I play Minyango. Let me tell you another thing about him that I want to share with you that really meant a lot to me. COVID happened. And right before COVID, Minyango said to me, baby, I've got all these fabulous dates. He didn't say fabulous, I said fabulous. I've got all these dates. He's gigging. He travels around the world. He plays with Stevie Wonder. He plays with Miles Davis. He played with Miles Davis. Right now, he's touring on the Miles Electric Band. He'll be touring with Jonathan Butler in this year. He's also on the Smooth Jazz Cruise. He's awesome. But this particular time, right before COVID, he had all these dates and he's so excited COVID had and everything went to hell in a handbasket. But you know what? I never heard from him a peep of woe is me. Never. He got in that studio. He practiced on those drums. His studio opened up so he could record for people in his studio. That man never, at least never let me see. And you know, we were together constantly. Thank God we got through it. I never saw him lose his cool. Now, that was the most of all of our lives in the world to bring us down. But he found a way. Munyango Jackson always finds a way.
Do what you love to do, learn about what it is that you want to work on, and share it. Let people see something. Because a lot of people want to do something also, but they think about, well, it's the word but that comes in the way. Why would I do this? But then, and a lot of times, but is something that we create a lot and put it there because we think that's going to be in the way, that's going to be this and that. And whatever you say is true because it not necessarily doesn't have to be that. When you say but and that is this, you creating something that is in the way itself. Stop using that word but so much. Unless it's a nice looking butt. But yeah, so I'm just like, go for it. Whatever it is you want to do, go for it. Learn as you go because we're perfectly imperfect. Stevie works on some things and he puts his hands in it. He's trying to do something and he'll mess up too. But then he'll come back and it's killing. Miles used to play, he played some wrong notes. He said, what? Come out with something else and boom. Perfectly important. The later for that perfect, you know. So learn from it. Do what you got to do and show people, share it with people, and help people learn some of the stuff that they want to learn. And then put a band together.
Isn't he cute? So positive. Yes. Hey there, Glennis. Yes, he is. He really is so positive. You know, what I love also about what he said is learn what you want to do and then teach it to somebody else. I cannot tell you how many musicians I run into. They go, oh, Munyango is your husband? When I first came to town, Munyango showed me the ropes. He introduced me to people. He had me come to his house. We played together. He was wonderful. And so Munyango walks that talk. I was on the subway one day when I was living in New York. I moved to New York from 1988 to 1993. And then I was working on a soap opera at that time and I kept going back and forth, but I was back in LA. Anywho, I was on the subway and I heard these women talking and one said, oh, what are you going to do? It was at the end of the day. They had just left work. She said, oh, I don't know. Maybe I'll just go home and hang out. Oh, they were kvetching and moaning about not having anything to do. And I thought to myself, there's a baby in a hospital. They could go and they could hold. There's a kid on their block. Maybe they could do homework with them. There are things we can do to give of ourselves. to share ourselves. I'm here with you every Wednesday just to share some of the things that have inspired me in life. It gives me such joy, and I hope it gives joy to you too. It is my passion. It is what my destiny is to be. I'm a healer, not with my hands, with my voice and with my heart. You're a healer. Are you a healer with what you know about math you can help some young kid with? Are you a healer with the kind words you can share with someone? Are you a healer with your ear because you're listening well? You're a good listener? Are you a healer just because you are a lover of life and the people you're with enjoy you? And the first person we always need to put our healing love on and to is ourselves. That's the first person we always need to heal. I learned this, you guys, when I got really sick many years ago. Doctors couldn't tell what was wrong with me. But I was on these antibiotics and I was home and I was really, first time I was ever scared. You know, I had the flu, I had a cold, have cramps, but this was different. I was single. I was laying in my bed and I was looking up and I was like, started looking around and I wanted to get new sheets and I wanted new linen. That's what I want to get. But I couldn't figure out what color I wanted. And when I realized I could figure out what color I wanted, it took me down this beautiful rabbit hole of what do I know about me? Oh, you guys, it just hit me that that could have been what that whole illness was about, because I started thinking about things. What do I like? I started writing about it because I'm the oldest, so I'm worried about everybody else in my family. And when you grow up like that, you worry about everybody else in the world but you. And I'm a woman, and we worry about everybody else but us. Being the oldest and a woman, whoo, baby, that's double stuff. I started thinking about me and who I am. And I pulled out my journal. I was writing. Oh, I was having such a good time. I got better, walked into the linen store, and the image I had in my mind, the colors and the flavor, it was a Moroccan flavor I wanted, was looking me right there in the display. So important for us to know us. It's so important for us to share us. Didn't we learn that through COVID? If we learned anything through COVID, we learned how tribal we are, how we really need each other, not on Zoom, not just on what I'm using right now, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram, but to be able to touch each other, to be able to smell each other, to be able to kiss and hold and hug. That's what we need. Tell the truth to yourself. If to anyone else, tell the truth to yourself. There's a dark side to each and every one of us. I got one. Trust and believe. I know there are things I wish I could change, and there are things I have, and there are things that I will not change, and they're not going to change. Nothing I can do about it. But you know what? I'm not going to make myself bad about it. I have done some things I'm like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have done that. I apologize for it. And that should be enough, because you know what? I'm a good person. And I would never do anything to hurt anyone because I know me. And that's very important. Now, Mr. Jackson, what else did you say, my darling? And I will have him back. Isn't he fun? I'm going to have him back where we're going to set up the camera so you can see his whole, well, I don't know if you can see the whole studio, but he's got over, I don't know, 30,000 instruments. Crazy percussionist. He spoke about the word but. Now, I'm going to tell you, when he and I are in conversation that's a little heated, excited, verbal conversation, and I say the word but, that man loses his mind. And I thought about it, and there's truth to that because no matter what anyone has said before that, when the word but happens, that negates everything that was said. So I try and use and as the, you know, instead of but. But, but that word, if we use it for ourselves, that's what he's talking about. You have things you want to do, and you go, "Oh, I really want to model. I want to be a model, but I'm too fat, or I'm too skinny. I'm too this. I'm too that. I'm not pretty enough." Do you see these beautifully full-figured models? Do you see these interesting people who are not what you would call typically pretty, but man, they've got an interesting look. See you next week, Francis. They've got an interesting look. I'm just using that as an example. You want to be president of a company? Well, honey, start creating that company. It starts from a little, from a little, from a little, and I promise you will make it happen. Keep doing that. Oh, Mr. Mayango Jackson. He brought up Stevie Wonder and Miles Davis. That was fabulous, wasn't it? Because they are the epitome of music. But you only hear them when they've got everything done. He's with them when they're like, oh, that was an F sharp and I meant to touch a G sharp. Ooh, that wasn't this. Ooh, I didn't mean to hit that note. Or, ooh, that riff did not work. He's with them when they're creating. I see Minyango as he's creating, he's making music, and it ain't always pretty, but baby, he stays with it, and then something wonderful is made. So that's what we're talking about today. That's my smorgasbord of all those interesting people. Simone talked about journaling and vision boarding. Dorian talked about basically investing in yourself and taking a risk and a chance. And that phone may ring for something that you've always wanted. Then Mandela came in and spoke about failing forward. Look at your failures, the things that you've done that haven't worked, and learn from them to make yourself better. Richard, longevity. This life is a marathon. Process, pivot, proceed. Munyango, he ends us with his beautiful shakere and telling us about learn everything about what you want to do. Teach somebody else and share it. Ah, Rosita, thank you so much. Today's program was mad inspirational, and you're still looking gorgeous. Thank you, my darling. I'm so glad to have all of you here with me today. I want to show you where you can find me. I own a lot of gold. I own a lot of gold. Don't you love that? When I came up with that, I fell out laughing. Please reach out. And here's where you can continue to find the show. We're on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube channel, email. This show has made me better emotional. So these are my final words. Love yourself. Forgive yourself. Give grace to you. Tell yourself the truth. Give yourself permission to be you. Learn. Know that all of us have a dark and a light side. Yin and yang, baby. Night does not happen without daylight. Daylight does not happen without the nighttime. The ocean breaks loud and hard against the shore. Oh, listen to you guys. Thank you for all you're saying over here. Love your show. Thank you for tonight's program. I'll see you next week. And before I leave, because I didn't start off with it, it's a reason. Pray for those in charge. Maybe they'll hear us. If they don't, others will. And they can get more connected to help things change. Stay in joy. Stay in love. I'll see you next week. Ciao.